because it is all about innovation. It is all about dealing with stakeholders in the area of development of new information systems.
Thank you very much. I want to ask Linda to ask you some questions, please. Linda.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Ngeno, which skills or professional experiences have best prepared you for this kind of job that is high stakes and it requires a multi-skilled person who can be able also to handle the pressure that comes along with the job? So which skills and experiences do you have that you think will help you in the execution of your mandate?
One, I am an expert in ICT as a system analyst by training and by practice, and I have worked my way in ICT and implemented several systems that supports businesses. And I am also, I have a great strength in coordination, and you find that elections has got very complex logistical issues that needs coordination, and I have done this before when even I was a regional coordinator for IEBC in South Rift. I was managing 17 constituencies with over 40 staff. So I have that kind of, I can work under pressure because I have done this before. I've worked in the project management when we were in IBC during the time of elections. We could collapse every other thing in terms of positions and ranks and work as a team like a project and with strict timelines and responsibilities to meet. So I can meet strict timelines, and also IBC is a very legal area with everything in election is almost illegal to the extent that I comply to the legal terms.
Okay, thank you so much, and I wish you the very best. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. I want to ask Caroline to ask you some questions. Carol, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Ngeno.
Yes, Madam.
In 2022, the Supreme Court, in the presidential petition, identified certain weaknesses in the result transmission system. Given now your background and understanding of IT, what are those challenges that the court identified, and should you become successful, how would you steer the commission in navigating those challenges?
The 2022 election challenges, it was majorly about transparency, to the extent that there was a division between commissioners, because there's a group that felt that...
No.
Sorry.
Let's focus on the result transmission system.
Yes.
Not the governance issues.
Okay.
The result transmission system, I mean, like IBC uses technology.
Yes.
For voter identification, biometric voter identification, and the result transmission. But the Supreme Court identified certain issues or certain weaknesses in the manner in which IBC deployed technology. What were those weaknesses, and how would you navigate them?
In results transmission, there were challenges in terms of connectivity, as in there are some areas which the results were not able to come to the server or to the central Starlink system. The other thing was like the way it was being handled. Some results could come with because the officials were taking a picture or an image of the results form. So the way they do it, sometimes they come halfway which you would not be verified how the results, the completeness of that results. And when you look at it, generally, it was like, to me, as an ICT expert and someone who has worked in election before, it was more of administrative issues than the functionality of the system, because the system worked very well in certain areas. Also, you notice that the election IBC officials which are engaged on temporary basis and may not have had good training on how to transmit the results. I have also looked at what was highlighted by the KBMG in the audit, and they were talking of strong password, weak passwords. That's an area that needs a great discussion, because the problem that we had in 2023, in 2013, in results transmission, was because of strong passwords that we had enforced at that time, and many people were not able to log in and send the results. Now, when the passwords are changed to be a bit easier and flexible for the IBC officials, it also becomes a vulnerability. So what can be done is to strike a balance between a strong password and a weak password to see how we can safeguard the integrity of the system, at the same time make it possible for everyone who is using the system to be able to access it. Then the other one is fine-tuning the system to the extent that when an official is trying to send the results and they are taking an image, the system should be fine-tuned to the extent that it should not be able to send half the results or the form. It should only accept to send the results when it has captured the whole form. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I wish you well. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you. I want to invite Koki to ask some questions.
Thank you very much, Chair. Mr. Ngeno.
Yes, Madam Koki.
Should IEBC regulate and oversight political spending?
Yes, IBC should regulate and control political spending.
So how would you strengthen IEBC's oversight of political spending?
It is actually supposed to, it's an ideal situation. IBC should regulate and control. But it is a very challenging situation, given that the money that is spent in elections by political people or politicians, majority of it is not even about the posters, things that can be put in the budget. It is all about handouts that they give it to the voters, which is illegal. So that one, it is hard to account for it. And also, there is another thing that is really impacting in the democracy in this country. The level of honest in terms of dealings is very low. I had a privilege when I was in IBC to go to Brazil to do the observation of presidential election. And some of the things that we were looking was the campaign. The campaign there is managed well in a systematic manner, to the extent that there is a level playground for politicians, because it is actually the Electoral Commission there that manages the funds for the candidates. So
you said that IEBC should oversight and regulate
yes.
campaign spending, and I asked you how. So please give us some steps on how you would.
One is to work together political parties. Secondly, is to have a very strict code of conduct in terms of the campaign and declaration of the budget by the candidates on how much they can, and maybe for IBC to form a special unit that enforces that code of conduct for management of campaign funds outside the normal, because the current IBC as it is, the officers in the field, their hands are full. They may not be able to follow the politicians to every campaign or call them. But if IBC could form a separate unit that deals with campaign financing, they'll be able to manage to certain level.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ngeno, and I wish you all the best. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I want to ask FCPA to ask you some questions. FCPA, please.
Thank you, Chair. Bwana Ngeno, you know, all along I thought you were still at IBC. When did you leave IBC?
I left IBC in 2017.
Any reason? And you had prospects?
Yes, I had prospects. I loved it, but I aspired to be a candidate, which did not work.
Which candidate?
I had aspired to be an MB.
Member of Parliament?
Yes.
For which constituency?
Sotik.
Or Sotik?
Yes.
So you fell at what point? Nomination?
Nomination. I didn't go beyond nomination.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why would you want to leave KIPI, and you are Deputy Managing Director now?
Because one, I have seen and I know and I understand the kind of commissioner that IBC requires, and I am one. I know what it takes to be a commissioner in IBC. I joined IBC during the time of reform, and it was not a good reform. It was a very serious reform after the post-elections. So I joined IBC, and I was oriented in a way that I should take seriously every election activity, because it means a lot to this country. So IBC needs that kind of, any commissioner needs that kind of orientation, whereby it's like, it's like you are driving in a road and you are driving carelessly, then you find a very bad accident. You'll start slowing down and following the rules, the traffic rules for some time before you go back to your behavior. That is how I was oriented. I was made to understand that elections are serious issues in this country that needs to be handled with due care, because it can break the country. So I have that passion to do it, and I have the necessary experience. And one of the areas that I think has been troubling IBC is ICT and the server. And there is a need, and a serious need for that matter, to have an ICT experienced person as a commissioner in IBC. And this is evident from where we started. The technology was moving very well during the IEBC, because we had a commissioner who was an expert in ICT. Then there was a slowdown in IBC towards 2013, even from the procurement, because ICT issues were not being articulated in the plenary to the extent that it was not receiving the necessary attention, and some of them delayed in procurement and implementation and affected the result, transmission, and management of election during 2013. So there is a need to have an ICT expert who understands also election in the IBC Commission.
Thank you. I wish you well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Misati.
Thanks so much, Chairman. Stephen Kibet.
Yes, sir.
Ngeno. Please tell this panel the work of the Secretariat in IEBC, particularly in terms of human resource. What are you doing?
Thank you very much, sir. The work of Secretariat in IEBC is to run the day-to-day activities of the Commission. And these activities revolve around voter registration, voter education, and other activities like financial management. I mean, that's about the ICT.
Stephen,
Yes.
I actually requested the work of the Secretariat in relation to human resource, staff management, and all that.
In relation to human resource, I am not getting you there.
The Secretariat and the staff of IEBC.
Yeah.
So who recruits the staff? So what does the Secretariat do in terms of the staff, the directorates and all that?
Of the human resource. There is a fully fledged directorate of human resource in IEBC, led by a director human resource. And depending on the levels, senior levels are normally recruited by the commissioners. But the other levels are recruited by internally by the Directorate of Human Resource. But when it comes to the election time, that role is delegated to the returning officer at the constituency level to recruit and train staff who are manning the election during the election time.
What are some of the risks associated with recruiting such a huge number of staff during the general elections?
The first risk is that there is a risk of interference. It do happen, interference from outside, political class, putting pressure on IEBC staff to recruit certain people who may not have the necessary qualifications to do that job. Secondly, people don't have the same level of understanding. During the training, some officers may not be able to get the training, the necessary training, to the extent that they are able to efficiently run election. And the other risk is that since they are temporary staff, the way they used to be during the ECK, these ones, some of it, there is a risk that someone is trained, recruited, trained, and fail to turn up in the morning of the day of election. That's the greatest risk again.
Thanks so much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to invite Fatuma to ask you some questions. Fatuma, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Ngeno,
Yes, Madam Fatuma.
if you're given a chance, how would you prioritize stakeholder engagement at IEBC? How would you prioritize if you are given a chance?
Thank you very much. Stakeholders in every election are very important entities in election. In IEBC, the first one of the stakeholders is the political class. There is a need to be harmony between the political class, the politicians, and the commission. The other one is the government itself, which is central government in terms of treasury. IEBC is independent but still rely in government for funding. So there need to be understanding. There need to be exchange of information, open information, to the extent that they know the need of having those funds in advance to meet the strict timelines. The other one is Parliament. There are legislations or some laws that needs to be worked on maybe before an election. And the Parliament should be actually told or explained to that they need to have those amendments passed so that it can facilitate smooth running of the of elections. The other one is the media. Media needs, because corporate image of an organization is how people receive it. Media in this country is a great influencer of elections and any other thing. They actually set the agenda of what is to be discussed. Whenever they give attention to a certain topic, it becomes the discussion for everybody. So they need to actually have a very good understanding so that media, they don't do a bad job. They can be a very good vehicle for further education and so many other activities of the Commission.
How would you place them in order of priority? You've identified them, yes, but how do you prioritize?
One, I will. The one is the political class, because one, no.
Separate issues when you talk about the political class.
Politician.
Who? When you're saying a stakeholder, you must be very specific.
Politicians.
Which politicians?
Majorly members of parliament, to agree so that these are the people who actually supposed to apart from doing the oversight of IEBC, they are the opinion leaders in this country, and this country needs peace for any election preparation or for election to be conducted. The other one is IEBC, Treasury. Treasury is among the top stakeholders stakeholders in election. The IEBC needs money to run every activity efficiently and effectively. Then the other one is also the voters themselves. They need to know, like registration, when is it happening, and to know their rights to register and prepare for the elections. Yes.
Thank you very much, and I wish you well. Back
Thank
to you, Chair.
Thank you. I want to ask Nicodemus to ask some questions, please.
Yes, you've said you've worked at the IEBC before, and you are part of the team that introduced the electronic voter system in Kenya. Given a chance to be a member of the commission, how would you help in reducing the amount of money that is being gobbled by the ICT system at IEBC?
Technology actually is required in election nowadays, and technology is very expensive. Unfortunately, the pace at which technology is changing is so fast, to the extent that in the next 5 years, when election is being done or being carried out, maybe the technology has been phased out, so you need to do another one. But there's a way we can do, to the extent that we can run an audit the way an audit was done on the register. We can still run an audit on the hardware and the network infrastructure to see those ones which can be maintained easily and can be reused in another election than starting all over again. But as we do this, as much as I know and I believe that resources should be used in a very prudent manner. Democracy is a very expensive process. When you look at it, like in IEBC today, there are some polling stations which have got less than 10 people. But it cannot be closed because it is for public interest and for the good, common good, that those people have their rights. And they will get a full deployment of election officials, including security, just like any other station, other stations which have got maybe thousands of voters. So apart from the need to have, to manage the election budget in technology, there is also the need to look at that democracy is exercised and is accessed by every Kenyan.
Thank you, Stephen, and all the
Thank you,
best.
thank you.
Thank you. Professor, please, some questions.
Thank you, Chair. Banangeno,
Yes, Professor.
let's go ethical, because it's an issue in elections. Kindly outline the constitutional and statutory instruments that form the backbone of Kenya's integrity framework for public offices, and which of these are the most relevant for an IEBC commissioner. It's long, so I'll repeat. Kindly outline the constitutional and statutory instruments that form the backbone of Kenya's integrity framework for public offices. Which of these are most relevant for an IEBC commissioner?
One is the chapter 6 on the Integrity Act, Leadership and Integrity, which define actually the qualification of anybody aspiring to enter to any office or of leadership in the country. We also have the ethics code, and I think Article 10 and Article 232, which talks about public service, code of ethics, that define how a public servant is supposed to conduct himself within the office and outside the office when managing public affairs, to the extent that the interest of the public comes first before the personal interest. IEBC Act also will affect a commissioner, because there is a need to understand what are the roles of, or what are the functions or the mandate of a commission. You will be leading a commission, which you should know it is mandate, and it is explained in the IEBC Act. There is also Election Surveillance Act, which every commissioner will need to familiarize themselves so that they are able to understand when elections offenses are made, or and so forth. So I think those are the ones that are very important.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay, Professor, do you have last two questions for the candidate?
Sure. Stephen Kibet Ngeno, in this last segment, through the chair, we usually ask high school questions, and we started from where your expertise is. And I think your forte is ICT.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, your main area, according to your...
Yes, it's ICT.
ICT.
Yes, sir.
The Kriegler Commission recommended, among other major reforms, the need to adopt technology in the election process to provide efficient, transparent, auditable, and credible results. Subsequently, election after election, there have been issues on technology, especially the result transmission system. And the Supreme Court has pronounced itself, including in the 2022 election. Having been an insider and now wanting to go back, especially on ICT, and having heard you that the 2013 commission had an ICT commissioner and the subsequent one did not have an ICT commissioner, based from where I've started, from Kriegler to Supreme Court to Ngeno, the expert on ICT, where is the problem and how will you resolve it?
In terms of technology, IEBC technology, when we look at the history, the way I have explained from the referendum time 2013, when you look at it, the functionality has never been an issue in terms of technology. It has always been the lack of preparedness. Now, that can only be addressed by the Commission itself, having someone who can provide a strategic leadership on how to acquire ICT equipment, make sure it is tested well in advance, and the training, appropriate training is carried on. And training, appropriate recruitment of people who understand technology and train well to use the technology. If that is done, it is going to work. And I can give an example. In 2013, the technology failed at challenges during the election. But in the subsequent by-elections, because thereafter immediately we went to Makweni for the by-election of a Senate. And we took our own IEBC staff who were trained to be the returning officers and handle election. And I can tell this panel that the election results came in by 9 p.m. 100% results transmission had happened. And yet we were using the same system that was problematic in Pomas. So it's all about preparation, early preparation. And that goes up to Treasury. If the Commission can get the necessary funding in advance, technology works and works very well.
Thank you. My last question. Name any 2 counties in Kenya that border the Republic of Uganda. Any 2 counties in Kenya that border the Republic of Uganda.
I know Busia and Kisumu.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We want to appreciate you for coming and for being part of this process. We do think that your experience both at IEBC and your current role are significant, and we want to appreciate the knowledge we have learned, and especially your response to the professor when he was asking about the results. It sheds light not just to us but also to the public out there. And so we want to appreciate you very much, Mr. Ngeno, for your experience. I don't know whether you have any question or a comment to make.
Chairman, thank you very much, and honorable members, once more, for giving me this opportunity to come and share my experience and my passion in electoral matters. Mine is to say 2 things. One, the independence of IEBC starts with this selection panel. And secondly, as I told you, I am one person who was introduced in the reform at that time, which was caring, I'm still traumatized to the extent that I know and we have confidence that this panel is doing a very good job. And I want to share a small story which is very relevant to what you are doing. That there were two friends somewhere, and both of them were very wise. So one time, one of them took a butterfly, held it in his hand, and asked his other friend, "Is it dead or alive?" And the response was, he knew, the other friend was also wise. He knew that the moment I tell him it is dead, he will release it and it will fly. If I tell him it is alive, he can easily press it to die or squeeze it to die. So there is a butterfly in your hands. You can release it to fly beautifully in a democratic manner, or you can squeeze a life out of it. The country is looking for you, looking at you, Professor. Thank you very much.
We will need the question first.
No, I don't have a question.
No, we need the question for us to know what to do with the butterfly.
Release the butterfly to fly.
Okay, thank you.
Alive, it will not fly when it is dead. It will beautifully fly democratically when you release it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Your certificates are with our colleague at the door. The notebook and pen are yours, and we are grateful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We are live on K24, so we need to. Okay. Okay, bring the candidate in, please. Joel, karibu. Please have a seat. Thank you. Watu wa Migori ni wazoefu wa lugha ya Kiswahili. Sijui kama ungependa tutumie lugha ama tutumie Kiingereza.
Lugha yote chairman inafaa, tutaweza kujadiliana.
Asante. Basi majina yangu ni Nelson Makanda. Mimi ndio mwenyekiti wa jopo hili. Na tunataka kushukuru kwa kuonyesha nia ya kuwa kamishna wa IEBC na kukupongeza kwa kufaulu kwa kuitwa kwa hii interview. Ningependa kuwaalika wenzangu wakaweze kujitambulisha kwako, kisha tuje kwako. Asante. Linda.
Good morning, Mr. Muita.
Good morning, Madam Linda.
My name is Linda Kiome, and I take this pleasure to welcome you for your interview session. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Daniel, habari ya asubuhi.
Salama.
Jina langu ni Andrew Tanui, mwanachama wa jopo hili. Asante.
Asante.
Good morning, Caroline Kituko, karibu sana.
Asante.
Good morning, Joel.
Good morning.
Adam Solo, I'm a member of the selection.
Thank you.
Mwita, habari ya asubuhi.
Salama kabisa.
Naitwa Nicodemus Bore na karibu sana.
Asante.
Good morning, Mr. Mwita.
Good morning.
My name is Fatuma Ali Saman, a member of the panel. Please feel welcome.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Mwita.
Good morning.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
My name is Koki Muli Grinyo, and I'm a member of the panel.
Asante.
Good morning, Chair Mita.
Good morning.
My name is Evans Misati. I'm a member of this selection panel, and we welcome you this morning.
Asante.
Now we come to you, Mr. Mwita, and ask that you introduce yourself, highlight those things that are significant for you and which are relevant for the position you have applied for. Indicate to us whether you're a member of any professional society and if you have received any award or honor, and anything else that you think is significant for us to note. Karibu.
Asante sana. Thank you so much, Chair and the distinguished panel, for giving me this opportunity to appear before you to discuss my suitability for the position of a member of Independent Electoral and Borders Commission. My name is Joel Mwita Daniel, 32-year-old, certified professional mediator with deep understanding on electoral matters and elections. I started my schooling in Kuria, where I proceeded to Kanga High School, class of 2010, and also proceeded to Maseno University, class of 2015, where I was able to graduate with a bachelor degree of development studies with information technology. I'm currently pursuing my master's degree in international studies at the University of Nairobi. In complementation of my work and my duties, I've also undergone several certifications to build my capacity to deliver in higher calling like this of IEBC member. Some of the courses that I have undergone is mediation from Netherlands Institute of International Relations, public administration management from Beijing Beitong University in China, peace support operations logistics, international humanitarian law from International Peace Support Training Center. Bridge, I've completed the module of voter and civic education, among other courses that are stipulated in my CV. I started my career in 2015, just after the Garissa terror attack, where we lost 157 young people, and I saw there is need to promote peace. And as young people, we need to be very proactive in ensuring that we secure our country. I formed a national association for students by the name Universities and Colleges Student Peace Association, whereby we were able to promote peace in all our institutions of higher learning. Due to my ability of networking, resource mobilization, and bringing different stakeholders together, we were able to do a lot in terms of ensuring that we reduce radicalization and promote peace in our institutions of higher learning. One of the key highlights during that particular process, we were able to develop a curriculum dubbed as Learning to Live Together, which the student leaders and the students across the Republic of Kenya were able to be trained, and this actually contributed to peace in our country. Some of the book I've actually given for your reference. Later in 2017, where my deep knowledge and exposure on matters of election were entrenched, whereby I was able to sign the first ever youth inclusion MOU with IEBC, and USPAC together with IEBC played a very critical role in promoting youth participation in the electoral processes. In that particular MOU, one of the great achievements which I highly contributed is opening of the BVR kits so that the student in institutions of higher learning could register in school and vote at home. Further, I also advised the Commission for young people who have gone in different towns to look for different opportunities, they also need to be able to register in Huduma centers, which could also be giving them the opportunity to vote at home. In the same year, I got an opportunity to serve as a youth representative of the DRG, the Dialogue Reference Group of the Religious Leaders. This was a policy and strategic arm of the multi-sectoral forum, which was actually brought together to promote peace and ensure that we also have a good election that the common mwananchi, everyone in the country and the world, could be proud of. In that, I was also exposed on issues about the amendment of the laws which the DRG and the MSF of the Interreligious Council of Kenya highly contributed to ensure that we have a peaceful election. In the same year, I was also contracted by International Foundation for Electoral System to be the lead consultant on youth inclusion program in the program called Changamka. In that, I was able to contribute my knowledge in developing youth-friendly education materials, which I've also attached here to ensure that young people are also engaged in a nice manner. Also, in the same year, I was also contracted by the Uraia Trust, whereby I also helped them, together with my team, also to develop youth-friendly civic education materials, which Uraia used in 2017. In November of the same year, I got an opportunity to explore on other matters of election on other jurisdictions, and I got an opportunity to lead a team to observe the Somaliland presidential election, which was sponsored by Safer World. In that, I also got an opportunity to gain more experience and knowledge by getting more trainings on election observation. Later now, in 2018, I also had an opportunity to author a book on my experiences on my journey on youth inclusion in the electoral processes, a book that has since been published by Rampart Publishers in Germany, and it is also available on Amazon. Members of the public can as well buy, because also more than 1,000 copies have been bought, enriching other people's experience in other jurisdictions. In 2020, I also got an opportunity to observe the Tanzania general election, courtesy of ELOG, which also gave me also a broader perspective on how elections are being done. In 2021, IEBC, in its bid to increase inclusion of young people in the election, they formed a youth coordinating committee to assist and bridging the gap of young people in the electoral processes. They actually invited more than 50 youth-serving organizations from all spheres, and in showing the trust that they had in me, I was privileged to be the chairperson of the Youth Coordinating Committee. One of the achievements, as stipulated in the IEBC Evaluation Report of 2022, I was able to train more than 1,500 young people across the Republic of Kenya on voter education and youth engagement across. This also gave me an opportunity to travel across the Republic of Kenya, interacting with different stakeholders in ensuring that we have young people engagement in the electoral processes. I also got an opportunity to be actually employed by United Nations Development Program as Cohesion and Peace Project Officer, where I was actually seconded to YANO platform, whereby all the stakeholders on elections are actually in to promote peace in our election. This also gave me a broader perspective on matters of stakeholders and election. Currently, I serve as the Director, Liaison Services in Turkana County Government, where I also double up as the chairperson of the Inclusive Refugee Response Program Steering Committee, a program that is funded by the Danish Embassy, contributing more than 3.9 billion Kenya shillings. Thank you, my chair.
Mwita, you seem to be doing extremely well in leading the youth and young people. Why would you want to leave that arena to get into this onerous task of a commission of IEBC?
Thank you. This country is ours. The majority of the peoples in this Republic of Kenya are young people. Actually, 75% are young people. And they will also need a person who understands them, a person who has been with them to serve in that particular commission, because that is where the policy and where our country will be shaped in terms of manufacturing the leaders that will ensure that we have a secure and a blessed country. Lastly, Chair, I forgot to say something very crucial in my CV and during my introduction, that I'm a member of two professional bodies, that is the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators, and I'm also a full member of Kenya Institute of Management. And I've also been awarded by Horn of Africa Youth Network by greatly contributing to the development of the youth policy of the IGAD region.
You used the word manufacturing the leaders. This sounds like vifaranga vya computer.
You know, as young people, you know, we understand that manufacturing is where the things are made, you know. It is from IEBC that ensures the will of the people through the ballot is actually manifested through the vote.
Please.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Mwita, I first of all want to congratulate and commend you for the experience you have had in your not so many years on this planet, 32 years of age. It's very young, but your experience is very vast, and I wish to commend you. You're a beacon of hope and inspiration for the younger generation.
Thank you.
So in addition now to the experience that you have had, Mwita, is there any period of time where you have had your leadership skills tried, tested, and you came out strongly? And if there has been such a time, would you share with this panel what happened and how you were able to maneuver? Because the environment within which you would be working with at the IEBC is a pressure environment and very high stakes. Please.
Thank you. Yeah, so that is, thank you so much, Madam Vice Chair. I have had several experiences, especially of a person who has been working with young people almost throughout the last 1 decade. There is a time in 2017 whereby we were conducting youth engagement in the electoral processes. And I had invited all the student leaders at Lillian Towers, that was 2017, for just a stakeholders engagement. And as usual, as you remember, I mentioned earlier that I had signed an MOU with IEBC. And every time that I had an engagement with also young people, I also had to write to IEBC so that they could bring me one of the facilitators who could also guide the process. So that particular day, the night before that particular day, there was a news that one of the director of IEBC, especially now to be specific, ICT, had tampered with the register of voter. And there was also a push of also removing the commissioners. So I didn't know IEBC is going to send me which person to come actually and speak to the student. So as we were waiting, the student are ready. The person who is coming is the person who had been mentioned, that is the one who tampered with the election last night, the voter register. Actually, now students were in arms, all of them, they said, now we are going to ban these Lillian Towers. And I used my innovation skills to cool them. As I was cooling them, I was telling them, we didn't invite that. I was just writing a text message to Madam Joyce Ekwam, who was also a manager, and I told her, just come here and act like a mother. So when Madam Joyce came, at least I told, this is the person I wanted. They brought me a wrong person. And actually those people could. Otherwise, if I could not have used my tactic, things could be bad in Lillian Towers. Thank you.
Thank you, Muita, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you so much, Madam Linda.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. I want to invite Caroline Kituku to ask you some questions. Carol, please.
Muita.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, let me join my colleague in congratulating you for the good work you're doing for your generation and in this season. So I hope you carry on that work. So let's come back to what you want to, where you want to go to. Let's speak about the 2022 presidential petition. The Supreme Court did identify certain things, certain issues within the role of the IEBC chair and that of the commissioners insofar as tarring, verification, and declaration of presidential election petition results is concerned. Would you tell us how did the court clarify this role, and how is that clarification supposed to build the mechanisms of IEBC towards the safeguard of credible elections in Kenya?
Thank you. Actually, I would like also to commend the work of our judicial system, especially the court, in the working to ensure that we strengthen our democracy and our electoral processes. Every time we go to an election, we have improved our election based on also the recommendation we get from the court. In 2022, what actually emerged and was very significant is the role of commissioners vis-a-vis the role of the chairperson of the commission. And in this, actually, the court declared itself and also advised the commission, number one, to create a corporate charter which is separate from the function of the commission and secretariat, just also to guide the operations of the commission and the secretariat. Number two, the court also advised the commission also to ensure that the role of commissioner is actually from the day-to-day running of the commission, that is before the election day and the election day, the roles are actually put down, they are known and they are understood by both commissioners, so that the commissioners given fair contribution in their working and understanding in terms of the engagement with the commission. In this was actually even further, if you read the NADICOL report, it also says that the commissioners, you remember that some of the commissioners during the 2022 general election, they said they have been given hospitality role to play at the Bomas of Kenya. So even as much as even the court ruled and also ensured that every commissioner has a significant role to play during and before the election and also on the election day, it could also be nice, which was also supplemented by the NADICO report, that this is not only put in hearsays, but also included in the corporate governance charter, which the court actually advised.
Thank you very much. So specifically, for clarity purposes, what did the court advise insofar as the declaration, tarring and verification of results is concerned?
Yes. So the court advised that this is a collective responsibility of all the commissioners, and it will not be the function of only one person. So these results should be owned by all the commissioners' members. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I wish you well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I come to FCS, Dr. Koki Muli. try to also ask you some questions. Koki, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. Mr. Mwita, let me also join my colleagues in congratulating you for what you have done in self-actualization, but also importantly for the youth of this country and your contribution. In fact, I want to ask you a question related to your biggest constituency, the young people, and the need for them to register as voters. Because if without a voter's card, you cannot determine the leadership of this country. And I'm glad and I hope you will continue doing that, guiding them so that they can have a voice, and that voice is a vote. So my question is, what legally compliant and operational safeguards should the IEBC implement to ensure continuous, accurate, and inclusive voter registration? What sort of safeguards that will be complying with the law and that are operational that can IEBC put in place to ensure that?
Thank you so much, Madam Ambassador Kokimuli. Number one, it is the responsibility of the Commission to ensure that there is continuous voter registration in our Republic of Kenya. So that is actually given as a mandate under our Constitution and also the Elections Act of the Republic of Kenya. Number two, under our Article 38, give a right for every citizen in the country who has attained the age of 18 and has a national ID to be registered as a voter and participating in that very democratic right. So as IEBC will ensure that, number one, the process of voter registration is actually guaranteed and is continuous. Number two, one of the mandates of
How?
By actually reaching out to this target population, the people who have not registered, and ensure that the process is easy, it is understood by them, and that is why I was actually going to the second point of ensuring that one of the other mandates is voter education and civic education for the Republic of Kenya. So this population needs to really be engaged. They need to be fed with relevant information, which is very critical for them to understand why they are going for this particular important democratic right. Number three, it is also the issue about stakeholders' engagement. We have said that one of the stumbling block, especially for people who come from border areas, me being included, that we have been getting difficulty. For example, I stayed 1 year without getting an ID because they are doing what they are calling vetting. And we thank the president to ensuring that one is scrapped, because most of the young people, even in 2022 general election and 2017 general election, were unable to register as voters because they were not able to get the ID in time. So having a stakeholders engagement and collaboration with the National Bureau of registration of persons will be key for us to ensure that all the people who attain the age of 18 get the ID, which is a very critical document for registration for these purposes, and ensure that we ensure everyone who gets an ID is actually getting is getting registered. And most importantly, if I get the opportunity to serve as a member of IEBC, I will remove the commission from anniversary tower to the people. This process belongs to the people, and people should own it, so that we ensure that the people of this Republic of Kenya, especially the young people, own the process, and even that is the reason why we'll also return the trust of the people to the commission.
How will you remove the commission from anniversary towers to the people?
removing is not just removing the physical building, but to take our operations to ensure that people are properly engaged. We reach out to them. You know, for example, Madam Koki, that we have North Hall as a constituency in Marsabit, where it is, and the last border of another IEBC office is more than 300 kilometers. So it is unfair for people just to walk more than 300 kilometers to look for IEBC, and we have permanent and pensionable staff being paid by IEBC to work for the people of Kenya, and we cannot go where they are. We cannot visit their market. We cannot go to schools and ensuring that people understand that this commission is to serve the people, but not to serve the buildings at which we serve. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mwita, and I wish you the best. Chair, thank you.
Thank you. I do want to ask FCPA Tanwi to ask you some questions. FCPA, please.
Bwana Mwita.
Yes, Bwana Tane.
I'm looking at your age of 32 years.
Yes.
And I was going through your documents, and I saw 5 letters from very serious state departments: university education, youth, gender, OP, interior. I mean, looking at that broad network at your age, so what is the secret behind all this?
I think, Bwana Tanu, you've forgotten even the civil society organization and embassies are also there. And the secret is to work hard and ensuring that what you know is outside there. And that is why I even publish my experiences with young people.
So you are saying the secret is?
Work hard, be outgoing, and there are some skills which are very needed in this particular commission, which those letters demonstrate, that the spirit of networking, collaboration, and engagement with various stakeholders, which are very key, so that when I'm actually getting the opportunity to be the commissioner, I'm not starting from zero. We have elections which needs to be done, like immediately. So we'll start by kicking the process.
So what is this unique thing about Daniels that is able to achieve all this within this very small period?
I take my work first by putting God first. I'm a believer and a Christian who understand that all the things we do is because God has sent us to do the work. So number one, I think it is the God blessings that I can actually attribute my achievement to. Number two, I don't usually sleep and wait for the opportunity to come and follow me. I remember when I was in campus, we were given public long holidays from first year. So I used to cheat my father and courier that the university has said it is a mandatory that we have to go for attachment. From first year, I've been attending attachment till I finished because I never wanted to stay in the village. I wanted to come to Nairobi and work. And that really exposed me to a lot, and the deep understanding on how to relate well with people, how to approach people also assisted.
And then lastly, I saw you are a vice chairperson of Accounting Students Association.
Yes.
But I have not seen anything in your documentation thereafter.
Yes.
Any reason?
Yeah, so immediately after my Form 4, I joined Strathmore University to do my accounting. And I started doing my accounting. And because I had not finished, I never wanted to put something that there are so many things I've not finished and I've not put them there. So when I schooled, actually, I went to Strathmore University, School of Accounts. I did some accounts there. When I went to Maseno University, you know, when you've come from Nairobi and you've gone to a university in the village, you see, people also look at you in a different manner. And my engagement even in the School of Business was very vigorous. And even the student, that was an election. Even for Thea voted for me when I was a first year to become their leader, and shows my leadership skills. And I became the vice chair of the association of the university.
I wish you all the best. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Sati, please engage Mwita with some questions.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mwita. At a later time, we'll be looking whether cheating the father that you are going for attachment is an offense or an integrity issue. We'll look at that later.
Sati, you're a father of a teenager, so just take care.
That's very good. So now, Mwita,
yes,
let's address the issue of voter apathy, which is usually associated with most of the youth. And our analysis, we have been doing observation at the polling centers. The people usually who get associated with demanding handouts before they vote and stay outside the polling station, they actually, most of them, they are youth. I've not seen a mature person demanding that you have to see me before I vote. So how do you associate that, and how do we address it as a country, the issue of voter apathy?
Thank you so much, Mr. Misati. And this is a very worrying trend. And if we actually go by statistics, we even need to be more worried if this particular panel is going to assist the country in ensuring that we have the commission that will cure some of this disease. In 2017, the IEBC voter register had 51% of its numbers, the voters, were young people. In 2022, the number dropped by almost 10%, and we had only 39.8 of the registered voter being young people. That is our worrying trend. Number two, in terms of the economic value, if you read the Aga Khan University report of 2016 on youth engagement on the electoral process, it says that 40% of young people wants to be given a bribe for them to participate in the election. And you understand that we are in a difficult situation economically. And this is not only about the Kenyan government or Kenya at large. We've seen so many African countries that the youth bulge, which come with an employment crisis, and whatever that we need to do is, number one, it is a responsibility of any republic to ensure that we address some of these challenges that young people undergo in their country, so that we have a better nation and youthful population which meaningfully engage in different spheres of life.
Now, from the argument of the same youth,
yes,
they say why they are not voting is because the politicians, they say what we call input fatigue, year in, year out with promises. So they have reached a level now where they're saying, we are no longer now, we don't want promises. That's why they're saying now we want these handouts to Malisane. So how would you, if you become an IEBC commissioner, how would you engage the stakeholders, particularly the elected leaders who have the resources, devolved unit resources, CDF, county governments? Is there a role, do you think, as an IEBC commissioner you can play, or who can be able to do that, so that there is that civic education,
yes,
so that this notion is
realized? Yes, Bwana Misati, that there are also several factors which I didn't even actually dive to, and which actually contribute to youth voter apathy. And one which actually really stuck my mind when I was in Kanga High School is there is a lot of historical injustices which have never been addressed to date. One of the key area, my classmate actually lost all the parents and the relatives. He was just alone, and sometimes he used even to cry in class because he went to the polling station, and that is the results as to why he is homeless. He doesn't have parents. This is a person that he associates voting with the losing of relatives and property that they had accumulated over years. So some of the issues that were even put in the Waki report really needs to be looked at as a government going forward to see how are we going to address some of the historical injustices that people have actually reached. And you can see there are some people who were born in 2000 and now they have reached the age of voting. And the experience that they got in 2007 really makes them to completely stay away from this particular process. Another thing is about also the nullification of the results by our court of law. In 2017, the election results was nullified. And that one can even explain to you the drop of from 51 to 39 of young people. And even in 2022, whereby IEBC was having a target of 4.5 million, they could not even reach 2.6 million. So it is something that we actually need as young people to see, and also as a nation, on how we are going to work together. And this is a whole of nation approach. It cannot be left for one particular person. By the people of Kenya, we need to have a conversation as a nation on how we are going to sort out this particular problem.
Thanks so much, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
But what will be the role of IEBC in helping resolve those dilemmas you have expressed?
Yes, Bwana Chair, in our constitution, under Article 27(6), it gives even some powers to the Commission to even come up with administrative and policy measures to address previous injustices which have been meted for this particular population to come up and also register as voters. As if I'm given a chance to work as a commission in IEBC, I'll be able to ensure that it is a constant engagement with the people, especially the youth population who are actually the target group, in terms of enhancing the voter education, enhancing the collaboration, for example, for PPLC, which is a platform for dialogue for all the political parties, and ensure that in that particular dialogue platform, it is represented by a commissioner level person to ensure that the engagement there with the political party, because Bwana Chair, some of this particular problem also emanates from our political parties in how these political parties actually carry out themselves and how they engage young people, because also that is a basis. So ensuring that we strengthen even the engagement at the PPLC by ensuring that we have a proper convening power, the finances and the operation, so that we have an engagement which will endear this particular population to participate in this important role.
Fatuma Saman, please ask Joel some questions.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Mr. Mwita.
Yes, Madam Fatuma.
In your view, what is the role of the stakeholders in shaping the IEBC voter education strategy?
Yes.
That's one. Then how would you institutionalize this role? What is the role and how would you institutionalize this role?
Yes, Madam Fatuma, this is a very important aspect of our electoral cycle. And the voter education strategy, I want to start it from even the accreditation of different stakeholders to carry out this very big mandate of IEBC. You understand that it is not only IBC that carries the voter education, but different stakeholders. One of the key things that I think we need also to make as a change, if I'm given a platform to be a member of IEBC Commission, is to ensure that, number one, we give accreditation much, much earlier. I have seen instances whereby organizations are given accreditation by IEBC 2 months, 3 months to elections, and these organizations which have been given the accreditation to carry out voter education, they have no idea on what voter education is. They think that there is some donor money they can go take and start voter education. So one of the key things that we'll also do is to ensure that we empower all the organizations, be it state, FBO, and youth serving organization, the capacity before we actually come up with an issue of accreditation of this particular organization. So that is one of the roles that are endure that it is done, the issue of a capacity building. Number two, the issue of the materials. You know, we have to segregate our country. This country is not homogeneous, neither are the youth homogeneous. So we need to ensure that the material provided, the people with disability can access, the young people can have it, and also the old and people in marginalized area, like where I come from. You know, be it even the platform that you are going to use to ensure that it reaches the information. You know, you can have an information, but if it is not tailor-made for specific people, you will find yourself talking to yourself. If you go to IEBC TikTok account, we have a population of 2.2 million voters, and majority of that particular people is young people. But if you go to the followers of the TikTok account, we have IBC is being followed by 145 people, and even Kreskena has much more followers than the IBC itself. So it means that we give content which is not targeted. We need to ensure that whatever we give is consumable by the target population. Thank you.
I want to thank you so much for your response. I've been looking for this response for a very long time. Thank you. I can't conceal that, despite the fact that we are in an interview. Anyway, Mwita,
yes,
how would you institutionalize this, those ideas that you've said?
Yeah, so for me, one of it is also to come up with a youth policy within IBC. Which will give a guidance and a framework on how our operation will be done. For me, that one is also very crucial. Number two, also we need also to have a small research so that we are guided by the numbers, we are guided by statistics. Number three, also we need to increase on our stakeholders' management and engagement.
Thank you very much, and I wish you well. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you.
You have referred to marginalization for a while now, and I'm wondering, how is Migori marginalized?
I come from Kuria, Mr. Chair, and Daktari, there we can't even produce a governor because we are only 2 constituencies within a county with 80 constituencies. So we usually struggle, and that is why some of our leaders say that we need to have our own county.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Thank you.
I want to invite Nicodemus to ask you some questions, please.
Yes, maybe Chair, I'll start from where you just left. Is it important to have your own governor?
It is not the governor of the community, but the governor of the area and the region. And what history has also taught us that sometimes people do not adhere with our constitution, and they actually have development based on where they want the development to go. So if you are not singing in the tune or you are not speaking the language of the governor, you might be left there wondering whether they will reach you in terms of development or not. This is an attribute as Kenyans we need to draw away ourselves from, but it is a reality that this is happening.
Okay. Now, I also want to join my colleagues in congratulating you for the many years you have lived, at the same time achieving a lot as compared to some of us who have been here for many more years. And on that, I would like to know what legal standards govern your behavior as a public officer, not only while discharging duties, but also in your private life. And why are these standards important for sustaining public confidence, especially in the body that you are looking to serve in IEBC?
Thank you so much, Bwana Bore. My number one guiding principle actually found under Chapter 6 of our Constitution, the chapter on integrity. There are very key principles there which really, if all Kenyans follow, I think we can be in a better country. Number two, in our Constitution, give us Article 73 of our Constitution. That tells us that we need to ensure that we put the public interest more than our own self-interest. We become selfless. We become accountable to the people that we are reading. So I think that is also very instrumental for me, 73 of our Constitution. Number three is the oath of office. I take the oath of office, which will be a guiding principle to me, a principle that will be there for me to uphold the Constitution and carry out myself in a manner that will be concurrent with the Constitution and relevant law that guides this Republic of Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you, Mwita, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Bwana Bore.
Thank you. I want to invite Professor to also ask you some questions. Prof, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Joel Mwita Daniel.
Yes.
Let me first congratulate you for the milestones that you have so far achieved at 32 years, and you have literally crossed the paths not only nationally but internationally. So keep the good work, and I'm sure your generation is proud of you.
Thank you.
Let me take you back where both the chair and Bore on marginalization, and I think your statement was that you can't even produce a governor. Why can't you produce a governor?
I had stated here clearly, it is how the things are in terms of the numbers, you know, and when given an opportunity, and this is one of the reasons why I highly take it as an honor and thank this selection panel, even for nominating me. As a young person, as a person who comes from the interior part of this Republic of Kenya in that particular area. So the issue has been also been the number, Bwana Professor. Professor, as I had alluded earlier, that in a county of 80 constituencies, we are only 2 constituencies. And nowadays, and people actually, and I think it is also one of the principles when people are doing the boundary delimitation, that there is a community interest. People tend to actually fence their community and they produce their person. If you go to Northeastern, there is something we call negotiated democracy. It is actually not done outside the clan. It is done inside the clan, and they produce one of their own. So it is something that has been happening in Kenya, but I think kama profesa tukishikana mkono tunaweza tukachange nchi na watu wakuwe wangwana. so that nikisimama kama governor pale Migori nipewe hata na watu wengine ambao hawajatoka kwenye kabila langu.
Is it not true that for all those 3 elections, the deputy governor has always come from Korea?
That is an affirmative action seat which has been left. Why can't it now be the other way around?
I hear you very well. The same populace.
Yes.
The same populace in the county.
Yes.
That elects the governor.
Yes.
Also elects the senator.
Yes.
Has a courier.
Yes.
Been elected a senator.
Yes.
By the same populace.
Yes.
How many times?
In Korea, it is only one time that we produced a governor, a senator, and he was held an hand with the son of the soil. So if that hand could not have been lifted up, Dr. Machagi could not be the senator of Migori County.
So you are accepting that some negotiated democracy happened?
Yes, that is why we are saying, as a country, we don't need to go to negotiated democracy for someone to win an election.
Just along the same lines, women county rep,
yes,
is elected by the same populace that
yes,
elects the governor.
Yes.
As a courier,
yes,
and a woman and
yes,
a disabled person.
Yes.
Being a women county rep of Migori.
Yes.
Wasn't that negotiated democracy?
Actually, you see, all the things that, Professor, you are talking about was the negotiation democracy of 2013, which ended. And since then, no Korea has become a women rep, no Korea has become a senator.
But
no
they have become. My point is that they have become.
They have become out of the negotiated democracy, and they have been held in hand by a person we call the son of the soil. And I don't want to mention the son of the soil.
That person leads a party, so it's the party doing it.
For sure, Professor.
Thank you. Let me go back to the question. You are 32.
Yes, Professor.
And I believe you were told, I don't know whether it was Caro or whether it was the vice chair, that you're going into a high voltage political arena at 32. So my question is, how would you respond if subjected to coordinated political pressure seeking to influence an election outcome? How would you respond if subjected to coordinated political pressure seeking to influence an election outcome?
Thank you so much. As you've stated very well, Professor, my age is 32 years old. And when you are at 32, you are very careful on what you do, because you are only not threatening your own life, but also the life of your family and the whole generation that I live to see. One of the things that I abide myself and have been abiding myself to is the rule of law. Election is guided by rules, is guided by the Constitution, is guided by regulations. I take the oath of office to ensure that I will do and perform all my duties in accordance with the law. We have regulations and acts which actually guide us in every operation, be it the Election Act, be it the IEBC Act, be it the Constitution of Kenya, be it the Political Parties Act, be it the Data Protection Act. All these things will be able to guide me in all my operations as a commission.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Prof, do you have the last 2 questions?
Yes, Joel, at this stage, through the chair, we ask the high school questions. And that at 32, you haven't been out of high school for so long, unlike some of us.
Yes,
so
Prof.
you should be in very familiar territory. And I start with something, we usually start with something that you have had an experience in. And I saw from the brief from your CV that you are the chairperson of IEBC Youth Coordinating Committee between 2021 and 2024.
Yes, yes, yes.
Just tell the panel, because also statistics have shown us that out of the 22 million registered voters, it's only 14 million that voted. And there are suggestions that most of the 8 million people who didn't vote were youth. From where you sat in that office, what contributed to that? That's the first part of the question. Then post 2022 until 2024, when you are still in that office, what did your office with IEBC do to address those anomalies of the youth either not participating, or the youth not being given a chance, or the youth not being brought on board?
Thank you so much, Prof. There are several things that actually contributed to young people not participating in this particular exercise. And during my interaction with this honorable panel, I actually mentioned some of them. And key to it, there was a research which was done by Badili Africa just in 2022. And the research was actually a one question which was sent to several young people across the Republic of Kenya. And the question was asking, does your vote make an impact in your life? 73% of the people who responded, they said no. And during the interaction, when they were revealing the research, most of the suggestion was saying that I was born, for example, in my village, and my father has been voting for the better part of his life, but the road leading to our place is still untarmacked, a lot of potholes, and nothing has changed. So, me being born the other day, 1992, who is now starting to vote, or for example, the people who were born actually in 2000, they saw that they are not going to change anything, so they better sleep. So this is something that we also need, and it has been contributed by the leaders that we've been electing. Number two is also we need to ensure that our process are transparent and easy, so that young people can resonate easily. And that is one of the reasons as to why, if given the opportunity, I want to ensure that we can see on our way that as the Kenyan population, in engagement with other population who are better stakeholders of us, to introduce voting, so that we make it easy. We enhance our technological mechanism in an election. This has been actually anchored in various reports, including our court system, the Kliger report, ICJ, telling us we need to enhance our technology, so that when we put technology, we enhance transparency, and we ensure that we give the we ease the process of voting, so that we can encourage more young people to participate in this exercise.
Sorry. I have to be on record, sorry.
Yes.
Let me put it on record. I know you had, but let me just put it on record so that you also answer on record. Name any two lakes in Kenya inhabited by flamingos.
Yes, Lake Baringo and also Lake Naivasha.
Any other? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samuita. Thank you for helping us finish this interview on a high note.
Thank you.
You are actually the last candidate. You may not have known that. And we want to appreciate you for preparing for the interview and representing the young generation well in this interview.
Thank you.
I don't know if you have any comment that you'd like to make or any question.
Thank you, Chair, and the distinguished panel. I take this particular moment to highly thank you and appreciate you. First, for shortlisting just a 32-year-old person to appear before you to discuss the stability of my membership, my position to serve as a member of this particular commission. Number two, I also want to give thanks on behalf of all the candidates, being now the last born, who appeared before you, that we don't take and we didn't take this particular moment for granted. It is an honor and we highly appreciate. What I can only say that I'm only praying for you to give Kenyans the people who can serve this republic in honor so that we can have a prosperous nation. May God bless you all.
Asante na shukran. Kama utarudi Kihanja usalimie watu.
Asante cha.
Baraka. Vyeti vyako viko pale mlangoni na ndugu ambaye alikuleta. Asante. I can see we had a few members in the gallery. I suspect this part of the youth battalion. Congratulations and thank you for coming to be part of this process. Asante.
Asante.
Thank you. Well, we can say hooray, or what do we say? Okay, okay, fine. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, yes. We thank God for the process. Okay. I don't know whether we should break to come and finish this. This media might want us to say something, so I don't know. Okay. You haven't seen what is that I will say, so it would be nice. It would be nice for you to, yeah. Yes. Yeah, so let's break for tea so that they don't dismantle their equipment. Then we come back in another 10-15 minutes and do a presser and release you. Is that okay? Thank you very much. Yeah.
Level 4, Mastery, Hamisi, Alo, Okore, Onyango, George, Moses, Joseph, Christopher, Geoffrey, Evans, Isaac, Rasak, Olweny, Lawrence, Frederick, Oriwo, Gwanda, David, Eric, and Odero. Masonry Level 4, Partial Qualification, Construct Superstructure Masonry Works. Yangiendo, Ojala, Okinyi, Felix. Masonry Level 4 Partial Qualification, Perform Masonry Finishing Works. Yangendo, Ojala, Okinyi. Masonry Level 4 Partial Qualification, Produce Masonry Unit. Yangendo and Okinyi. Plumbing Level 4, Mastery. Omamo, Mito, Okinyi, Ombewa, Odhiambo, Akech, Okelo, Juma, Kichoge, Odhiambo, Omieno, Mahamud, Ombaka, Onyo, Ochieng, Onunga, Wenwa, Radina.
Guest of honor, sir, in the academic year 2024, the following 32 candidates satisfied the examiners for the award of recognition of prior learning certificate. Fashion and apparel designer, level 4, partial qualification, produce women's apparel. Robert, Basilisa, Stallone, John, Nicholas, Maureen, Evelyn, Beatrice, Felix, Rosalind, Onyango, Omar, Veronica, Jane, Lydia, Judith, Emily Priska, Winnie, Emily Awar, Beryl, Okello. Fashion and apparel designer, level 4, partial qualification, produce men's apparel. Robert, Basilisa, Stallone, John, Nicholas, Leonard, Moses, Oron, Morris. Fashion and apparel designer, level 4, partial qualification, operate and maintain sewing equipment. Samuel Odhiambo, Erastus Otieno.
May I call upon the guest of honor to come and award the RPL certificate graduates. Thank you.
By the powers conferred upon me by the Tibet Act number 29 of 2013 of the laws of Kenya, I award you the level 4 certificate for which you have been assessed and qualified through the recognition of prior learning. Congratulations.
Congratulations, the graduates. Guest of honor, sir, we move to the next level and allow me call upon the heads of departments to present 51 graduates who in the year 2024 satisfied their examining bodies for the award of artisan certificates in the following order. 1, building and civil engineering, fashion design and cosmetology, mechanical and automotive engineering, electrical and electronics engineering, hospitality and tourism management. Be fast enough, graduates, when you're called upon, rise up.
Guest of honor, sir, in the academic year 2024, the following 10 candidates satisfy the examiners for the award of artisan certificate. Artisan in masonry, March 2024 series, pass, Joseph. Artisan in plumbing, March 2024 series, pass, Achieng, Chacha, Danish, Francis, Opio, Ouma Marilyn, Ouma Ronald, Owino, and William.
Guest of honor, sir, in the academic year 2024, the following 3 candidates satisfied the examiners for the award of artisan certificate. Artisan in garment making, March 2024, Onyango Joyce. Artisan in Garment Making, November 2024, Otieno Okusimba.
Guest of honor, sir, in the academic year 2024, the following 9 candidates satisfied the examiners for the award of Artisan Certificate. Artisan in Refrigeration and Air Conditioning, November Series 2024. Credit, Brian, Ochieng, Osimo, Otieno, Ouma, Oyangi. Pass, Maxco, Ochieng, Otieno.
Guest of honor, sir, in the academic year 2024, the following 9 candidates satisfied the examiner for the award of Artisan Certificate. Artisan in Electrical Installation, March 2024, Pass, Mangeni, Martin, Mbirika, Nyakech, Odalo, Odoyo, Okoth, Otieno. Artisan in Electrical Installation, November 2024, Credit, Rombo.
Guest of honor, sir, in the academic year 2024, the following 20 candidates satisfied the examiners for the award of Artisan Certificate. Artisan in Food and Beverage Match Series, Credit, Oguto Victor Uma. Pass, Adongo, Akamete, Akinyi, Amondi, Awino, Belinda, Dongo, Emily, Evelyn, Juma, Molly, Monica, Oluoch, Onyango, Sharon. Artisan in Food and Beverage, July 2024, Pass, Abiero Rosso Juang. Artisan in Food and Beverage, November 2024, Credit, Omware Valerie. Pass, Opio Ouma.
We expect the graduates to be upstanding, and may I call upon the guest of honor to come and award the Artisan Certificate graduates. Be upstanding graduates. Thank you.
By the powers conferred upon me by the TVET Act number 29 of 2013 of the laws of Kenya, I award you the Artisan Certificate for which you have been trained, examined, and qualified. Congratulations.
Congratulations, graduates. Guest of honor, sir. Another level, allow me to call upon the heads of departments to present 723 graduates who in the year 2024 satisfied the examining bodies for the award of craft certificates in the following order: Building and Civil Engineering, Business Studies and Entrepreneurship, Computing and Informatics, Fashion Design and Cosmetology, Applied Sciences, Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Health Sciences, Mechanical and Automotive Engineering, Liberal Studies, and Hospitality and Tourism Management.
Guest of honor, sir, in the academic year 2024, the following 144 candidates satisfy the examiner for the award of craft certificate. Craft in Building Technology, March 2024 series, Credit, Onyango. Pass, Alfred, Bruce, Collins, Ephraim, Mola, Mwaya, Obuya, Ochieng, Okumu, Omundi, Apilo, Opondo, Osano, Ouma, Ouyo, Scholastica. Craft in Land Surveying, March 2024 series, Craft, Chacha. Pass, Adala, Adhiambo. Craft in Road Construction, March 2024 series, Credit, Tony. Craft in Building Technology, July 2024 series, Credit, Oduma. Pass, Aboro, Agar, Dedan, Edna, Godfrey, James, Joash, Maxwell, Mildred, Wena, Odero, Okumu, Otieno Kevin, Otieno Washington, Ouma, Wen, Owore Solomon. Craft Inland Surveying July 2024 series credit Ooko, Odinga, Okumu, Ongang, Ouko, Ouma, Rael, Ruth, Valentine. Pass Laventa, Lucky, Ochieng Peter, Ochieng Tobias, Ochieng Vivian, Ogola, Okumu, Otieno. Craft in Road Construction, July 2024 series, credit, Awino, Cosbas, Derek, Gitau, Kipkurui, Odhiambo, Ogutu, Omondi, Orengo, Osunga, Otieno, Ouma, Rollins, and Vivian. Pass, David, Jacob, Odeny, Odhiambo, Okoth, Veneza. Craft in Building Technology, November 2024 series, credit, Benadis, Chiedo, Isoka, Jekonia, Munanzira, Ochieng, Ongendo,